The 6th of August. Same. Money. 20 would be money. Chip, chip. Anything, anything. Nan ayaran inya. Nan ayaran inya. Sunglass. Australia, how are you? You've been busy? What have you been up to? Just having a quick stream before I go to sleep. I think it's morning time where you are. How are you? How have you been? That's great to hear. Homeschooling and yoga classes, girls group and cooking group. What is girls group? Is that like a study group? Hey, cooking group. What have you been cooking? I need to know. I need some inspiration for tonight. Turkish roll. Like a roll with turkey in it, or a roll that they eat in Turkey, the country? Ah, oh, but that's still nice. Ah, okay, so you're having some Turkish specialties. Hoşgeldin is the Turkish say. No, I think it's afiyet olsun. In Turkey, meaning bon appetit. But that's pretty awesome. Nice. Do you still play Mortal Kombat, by the way? The new trailer is out. I haven't seen it yet. But Carl Urban is in it, and I love Carl Urban. I think he's great. He was great in Dread. A movie I think you'll like. Uh, Chip Pang Pang Panmei. 다이소가 어디예요? 제발, 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 please. 이케, 이케, 이까. Ika is the best thing. Hogan, Hogan, Huygen, Huygen, Huygen. 크다, 작다. 알겠어. 저의 자는 좋아해요? 자는 좋아해요? 저는 행복해요. 비건식 음식, 비건 음식 있어요. Shana says hi. Welcome, Shana. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. Having a blessed evening or day, wherever it is you are in the world. ATM 어디예요? ATM 어디예요? 어디예요? 작가, 작가, 음식, 작가, 랍, earphone, 물, 물, fire. 물, 물 is fire. Stephen Knight says hello. Welcome, Stephen Knight. Stephen Knight as in the Knights of the Round Table. Hopefully you're doing well, my friend. 물 좀 주세요. 물 좀 주세요. 주세요. Shanna says, what's the topic tonight? Anything you guys want? I thought I'd just come on for a short period of time as I was learning. I'm I'm learning just before bed, but it's one of those situations you don't want to like put too much effort in. So you say to yourself, I'll just put YouTube on for a couple of minutes, get distracted. But by good people, just like yourself, of course. Shanna says hi to Stephen, and Stephen says hi to Shanna. Well, good thing you two are getting on well. Stephen is the knight in shining armor, here to save us all. To save Hannah and, sorry, to save Shanna and Kareem from boredom. 한국어 좋긴 못해요? 한국어 좋긴 못해요? Steven says, we have met before. Oh, really? Well, in my chat or in real life? You know each other in real life? If so, if you met in my chat first and then you became friends in real life, then I want bragging rights. I deserve. But that is so awesome. I have a couple of people that ended up becoming friends and working together on projects, like animation projects and stuff like that. And there's also a couple, a boyfriend and a girlfriend they met in my chat. That was pretty cool. Shanna says, I'm jealous. Oh, of whom and why? By the way, this new ranking chat system is super tedious. I think it's there just to troll people. Some people feel frustrated when they're like number one and then number two. And then they get to number one and then they don't even know why. YouTube always thinking of creative ways to get on people's skin. Oh, We are a couple, but we met elsewhere. Nice. Okay, I still want some bragging rights though. I still want to say that you really knew what it meant to be together. You you experienced the true value of your relationship once being in my streams. When you guys are not here, that's what I'm going to say. I sent him the link to come here, Shanna says. Oh, did you? Oh, that's so kind. Which country are you guys from, if you don't mind me asking? And Stephen, thank you for accepting the link. Stephen's like, okay, I'll take that. Anything I can get away with, why not, you know? Oh, you guys are a transatlantic couple. That is so cool. Have you met in real life yet? Because I also know a couple they haven't met in real life. That just, I think, makes it more exciting, I guess. I don't know. Shanna says yes. All right, we haven't actually met yet, but we are going to. Not yet, but hoping to soon. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That is so cool. How did you meet, if you don't mind me asking? Steve and I, we talk all day though. Oh man, that's so like romantic. Most romantic thing I've ever done. I bought my ex-girlfriend a Yoshi t-shirt from Super Mario Brothers, and I made it XXXL, and then I ended up wearing it the whole time. But you guys have like true romance, right? We started watching YouTube around the same time last year and met in a chat room. Oh, oh wow, that is pretty cool. We met on a live stream when we were two, a year or two. Okay, first of all, I'm jealous. It was another live stream. These guys have done me dirty. No, I'm only kidding. I'm happy for you. Last May. Okay, this has to be legit because you are literally finishing each other's sentences. Like one of you will begin explaining what was happening and when it was happening, and then the other just finish it, finishes it. We were crushing on each other immediately. Congratulations, guys. That is so awesome. Do you know each other's like real names and what you look like? But it took until this year before things progressed. In all honesty, why not? If it takes a little bit longer, it can be sometimes when things take longer, it's as if it's reinforced, if that makes sense. But we liked each other straight away. She liked you even though you're from London? Only teasing. Circumstances. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, sometimes circumstances won't allow to meet up in like immediately. And also, should I tell you something? Right, I'm going to be frank with you guys. I've I've done my fair share of dating in different countries. all over the world. And one thing I noticed in the dating scene was there's less value to be felt when people just immediately, you know, meet each other and share their whole life stories and don't take things slow. You know, they just rush into it and they say, "Ah, okay, we'll break it off. The next one's around the corner." And even though I do believe in the motto, there's plenty of fish in the sea and nobody should be endlessly heartbroken, if they do split up, I also do believe that nowadays people are more, not inconsiderate, but what's the word I'm trying to find? In Not insincere, uninvested, less invested, less. The words tip of my tongue. Tommy Slovakia. Ahoy, Tommy Slovakia. Welcome. Uh, Kareem, how was the gaming sesh? Sorry I left without a word. Oh, God forbid. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I was playing Mega Man. Tommy, I have Steven and Shanna. They're a couple in real life. That is so awesome. And I was just telling them that I felt that people are less sensitive in the dating scene. They're maybe a little bit less sincere, and they don't appreciate the smaller things. And these two guys are taking it a little bit slower. They're getting to know each other, and I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's nice to reinforce certain feelings and see the things you like and maybe even don't like about each other and see if there's workarounds and stuff like that. So that's very nice. That's pretty awesome. Helios says, huh? Haha, Helios, how are you? Bro, I just got here. Hi, guys. Welcome, Helios. Welcome, Helios. Tommy just joined, and we have Stephen, and we have Shanna, and those two are a couple. And we're just talking a little bit about relationships. And yeah, Stephen said ahoy. Stephen Slovakia. How are you, Kareem? I'm doing fine. I was learning Korean, but then I was like, I don't want it. I want to act like I'm learning, but I want to also be distracted. So yeah, today was a long day, so it's nice to be distracted before going to bed. Yes, we make it work, and it's going to be super special when we finally meet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Too many people are rushing into things nowadays. If you can withstand a long distance relationship and be enthusiastic about it, it's a very good sign for when you actually meet. It's a good sign, yes. I have had people very seldomly tell me that once they did finally meet, um, that it didn't work out, but not for the reason you would think. Like they would not talk about certain things, like I don't know, one loves apples, the other is um, allergic to apples. You know, things like that that ended up ruining the relationship. But you guys seem to be talking about everything. So yeah, enthusiasm, yeah, that's great to have. But it's also important to also see the realities of what could go wrong and stuff like that and talk about those things. But yeah, you guys seem to be mastering that. That's pretty good. Helios says, I want to sleep. Still, I need to stay up. Oh, why is that? Why can't you go to bed? I fell asleep while Kareem was streaming a few hours ago. That is You guys sound that Tommy. You sound like my last date. She fell asleep while I was talking. No, I'm only kidding. But yeah, no, no. Poor guy was tired. We talk constantly. Oh, that's nice. Shanna, give me three things you guys have in common, and one thing each that you don't have in common, but you still adore about each other. It doesn't need to be too personal. Anything you feel comfortable sharing. I'm just about to play the game. What game is that? Oh, by the way, extra points, guys, today. Whoever recognizes this little logo here. I think Tommy out of everyone would recognize it. You must be the younger brother Helios. True. If he has to wait. Or maybe he's the bigger man and says to himself, hey, I'm going to let someone else play. You ask good questions. Oh, thank you. Uh, who's the oldest here? Helios says. Remember, guys, you don't need to give out too much personal information. That includes age because you have to protect yourself, especially if you're on the younger side. But the oldest here, I'm assuming, I'm by far the oldest. I'm probably as old as everyone combined. We like weed beer. Okay, maybe not as combined. I've just saw beer. And Oasis. Oh, really? I seldomly meet or speak with Americans who know Oasis. And I like her cooking, even though I haven't tried it. The things she cooks. Oh, all right. You've got a good thing going, Stephen. She cooks, you eat. Perfect matchup. Mm, no, Tommy Slovaki says I'm 36. I've got 20 years on you, Tommy. I'm 55 this year. He has a kind heart. We like the same music, and we can discuss anything with each other. So Oasis, that's a good start. Who else? I know it's also added bonus to meet an American who is into Neil Gallagher. That is that is crazy. Shanna says, plus he smokes. Okay, and drinks, and I do as well. I listen to a lot of English artists. Ah, all right, nice. I mean, traditionally, um, there used to be the concept of a lot of Americans listening to British artists, which people forget. Like if you take the Beatles, if you take Tom Jones, if you take Led Zeppelin, they're like super famous. Well, wait, not everyone in Led Zeppelin is British, right? And then you've got David Bowie, Mick Jagger, and stuff like that. Ben Howard, Tommy says, you are not. Are you freaking kidding me, Craig? Where is the painting that ages instead of you? Is that a Dorian Gray reference? Uh, Ink Droplet says, be aware, dude, Shanna is a scam. Well, okay. Ink Droplets? Ink Droplets made an entrance? Ben Howard, I meant. Rolling Stones too, Stephen Knight says. Yeah, it used to be like, especially like, 50s, 60s, 70s. I don't even know. Ink Droplet's always making an entrance. So, by the way, Ben Howard, didn't he sing this song? Shanna, let me know, right? Mama, cold-hearted child, tell me what you will. I don't know the exact lyrics, and I'm not a good singer, but Mama, cold-hearted child, tell me what you do. Ink droplets. Ink droplets, man, come on. Doesn't matter who's a scam or not. Let's calm down. I can 100% confirm she is a real person and not a scam, but thanks for your concern. Helios says, I'm kind of bored. Shanna says, I can't believe you know who he is. Was I right? Was that a real song that he sang? Helios says, guess my age, anyone. Um, 12? Shanna, and I think you have been mistaken for someone else. My guess is 13. Yeah, Tommy, I think we're pitching in the right direction. Helios says I'm in my menace arc. Oh, he might be even younger, depending on how much she's invested in being a menace. I'm 12 actually. All right. But keep that more to yourself, Helios, especially if you're that age. There are a lot of weirdos online and you want to protect your information from them. Tommy, you're right, kind of. Dennis the Menace. Fun fact, right? So this is a fun fact about Dennis the Menace that most people don't know. Dennis the Menace was released simultaneously in England and in America. Two different versions of Dennis the Menace in the same year, and both writers never met each other. And they're both very different in the way they act, but Dennis the Menace is always a bit of a menace. Uh, Ink, I'd say Ink, I'd say drop it, man. Ink, you're weird, and I don't know who you are. Take that mask off your face. Ink, my friend, come on, we're having an easygoing chat here. If you continue making her feel uncomfortable, then I'm going to need to put you on timeout. Even if you know who she is, obviously she doesn't want to talk to you. Where in Scotland are you from? Glasgow, Shawlands area. Brought up in the Shawlands and Gorbals area. Tommy says, I'm going to look into that. Yes. Feel free to correct me if I got any details wrong. But as far as I remember, Dennis the Menace was. It's also the same concept applies to film. So cameras and films were being developed in two different countries simultaneously. I think it was the US and France. And the idea was up there, and two people grabbed that idea from the creative ether and just developed the tools they need to make movies, or moving pictures as they called them then. I'm ashamed to say I've never been to Scotland before. Oh, you're always welcome, my friend. The stereotypes are not true. English are usually very welcome to Scotland. Most English that come to Scotland are curious about, the nature, or they just want a good laugh because they know they can, enjoy themselves over the weekend. And usually it's good vibes all the way, so they're always welcome. Thomas says, I'm still baffled by your age. I had that with the doctor recently. I got an injury whilst training, and the doctor went, well, because you're still young, he says the recovery time should be like so and so. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was looking into my um, profile, digital profile, and then he's like, you're a pensioner in 10 years. And I was like, no. He says, yes. And I was like, well, I won't be a volunteer. I won't volunteer to be a pensioner. And he was like, oh, oh. He says, I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. I says, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll, I'll still recuperate the same as a 20-year-old. But wait, what? Well, I'm a gamer that murders and very violence to my bully at school. Oh my God, Helios. I hope you don't have anger issues. You might want to check into that. And also be very, very cautious of the content you consume. That can bleed into your subconscious mind, making you more aggressive. And you don't want that, Helios. You seem to be a nice guy. Helios is quite often in the streams and is relaxed, so you don't want that. You want to be making friends, not unlocking. I don't have anger issues. Oh, that's good to know. To be fair, your last text indicated that there might be some violence, some violent thoughts coursing through your soul or your consciousness. It must have been a last straw type of situation. Oh God, I don't even know if it was real. Maybe it was a game he was playing. There's a game called Bully. It's quite a famous game, and that was released what 6, 7 years ago. Maybe he was playing that. I don't know. Maybe that's what he was alluding to. But yeah, I hope he doesn't have. I just had adrenaline. Oh, we've all been there, my friend. Try and keep adrenaline under control. Helios is like healer, right? A lot of West European countries have the Helios clinics. I think Austria and Germany. So he's a healer. So don't injure people, heal them, my friend. Ink Droplet says, dude, you don't know about. Okay, so Ink Droplets. Let's dive into that comment, right? Let's debate that comment for a second. You don't know about Shanna has a OnlyFans account. So if she has an OnlyFans account and she's an adult and it's all between adults, then that's her business. It's not your business, and it's not your right to shame somebody for that. Okay? So thank you. We've heard you out, and we don't care. Second of all, she scams. She scams people like hell. All right, we're just having a conversation. Everyone here is just having a conversation and talking. Sometimes she's uh, involved in the conversation. Sometimes she might be listening, or she might be going somewhere else. Nobody cares. She's not scamming anyone here. You can't. We're just talking. Yeah, people hate me for telling the truth. No, we don't hate you for telling the truth, Ink. We just don't care. We don't hate you. It's just not important. That's the problem with truth tellers or social justice warriors. Like, you're at a dinner party and then they're shouting, "Oh, free the monkeys!" And you're like, "What? This is somebody's wedding, right?" And you're like, "What's this got to do with this?" It's just your timing and the place. Uh, I literally don't even know. Get out of here. Weird internet stalkers. Yeah, indeed. Helios Inc. We don't care. Inc. I've reported you for harassment. Please, she might have OnlyFans, which she doesn't, but still. It's everyone's right to do whatever they want. And even if she is a scammer, who cares? The whole internet is filled with scammers. Yeah, I don't pay any mind. If he says something out of line, I'll just put him on a timeout. To be fair, today I'm not receiving too many um, chat reviews. Shanna says, I don't even know that creep. Lately in the chats, there's been a lot of um, thirsty weirdos, I guess. You can't avoid them, dropping in now and again. And also I've been receiving a lot of challenges. Like a lot of people like, hey, you'd never take me in a fight. And it's funny, right? Because we're talking about geography or something like that. And I'm like, okay, okay. So yeah, comment. Let Steve find out for himself. Just kidding. Please don't lynch me. Yeah, they've known each other for a while and they're talking, but that's their relationship to find out about each other, huh? Oh my God, when I worked at the airport, Tommy, you'll like this story. Or well, it's a sad story, but there was a woman who came to the airport and she said to me, "Hey, I'm waiting for my husband." And I was like, "Okay, like where's your husband?" She says, "Oh, he's a very handsome man. He's 6'3" and he's dark and he speaks Arabic and Spanish." And I was like, "Oh," I says, "quite the catch you have there, madam." She says, "Yeah, and I'm supposed to pick him up and then we're going to drive to France together." And I was like, "Wow." I said, "It seems like these guys have um, a lot." Welcome, Mimi. How are you? Assalamu alaikum. So, uh, Tommy's like, "I'm trying to bring jokes." So, this woman is like, "I'm waiting for my husband. He should be on the flight, but he's not here yet." And I was like, "Okay, where is he coming from?" And she says, "I think it was Egypt. And he was in business in Kenya. He stopped over in Egypt." And I said to him, I said to her, "Well," I says, "I can't give you his name, but if you have any details or files or something like that, maybe I can search the system and see if he landed safely at least. But you need to give me all the information." She gives me all the information. I search the whole database. Can't find anything. I say to her, "He's not here." And she says, "But he phoned me and he says he was getting in the aircraft." And then I was like, "Sorry, he really isn't here." He says, "You'll need to go to the police station." So she goes up to the police station inside the airport. And then they come down to our airlines desk when I used to work at the airport. And they say, "Hey, do you have any information on this guy?" I said, he's not in the system. I says, I checked a date prior. He won't be here a day later. He's not registered on any of our flights. Turns out he was a scammer. And he married her over a fake website, took $3,000 or something like that from her. Says he was going to visit, says, hey, pay my ticket, blah, blah, blah. She sent him the money, and he says to her, yeah, I'm getting on my aircraft. Sent her pictures of him. It turns out it was an Egyptian actor, very handsome guy. And that's who she thought she was married to. And yeah, and never send off. Nigerian prince type of situation. Yeah, yeah, or Egyptian prince in this case. And honestly, I felt sorry for her. Like I wanted to give her a hug, but she was just so persistent. Like she didn't, like it wasn't passing through. And she was like, but we're married. I know my husband. And I says, I'm sorry, but I don't think he's your husband. I don't think it's real. Oh, yeah, but we got married over a website. Stephen asked, can you get married? Marry someone over the internet? Well, no, that's the whole point, right? That's she thought you could, but yeah, bro, how can you marry someone? The chat is really digging into this poor woman. The chat's like, what the hell? Yeah, it was so sad. It really was. And well, then they stopped the connection. They catfish someone for up to 3, 4 months, and then they marry them. And you know what the saddest part was? This woman was a widow. She was in her late 60s, and she thought she was marrying this guy who's like even younger than me, right? This guy was like in his mid 40s, and like I said, they showed him photos of Egyptian actor, very handsome guy, tall, dark, and handsome, you know. Um, and she thought that's who was she was marrying. And I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I just want to say this. If he's running a business in Kenya and in France and in Egypt, why would he need $3,000 for a plane ticket when we sell the plane tickets for 500? And she was like, for security. And I was like, okay, you mean like to enter the country? But you says he had a French passport. Why would he need money to prove that he's allowed to stay in France if he has a French passport? And she was like, "Hmm, she'll never trust a man again." To be honest, I hope not. That's a sad story and a shame. Yeah, yeah. I think we had about 6 cases a year. And the last one, when I used to do, it was call center, I used to do, there was a woman who called up and I realized it was fake because she was like, my husband just arrived in London Heathrow Airport, but he can't get out of security. He says he needs to send $600. And I'm here and I've already gave him $400 for the flight. And I just wanted to ask you guys, why are you keeping my husband? And I said, Madam, we're a sales department. Like I worked for like sales and emergency, like evacuations and stuff like that. It was like my part-time job, right? And I said to to her, I says that's a fake. And we went through step by step, and she couldn't let go. That's the saddest part when the people can't let go. And when they can let go, instead of calling the police or that, like let me squeeze the information out of him. Maybe he's been cheating on me. I says, ma'am, he doesn't exist. There's nobody there to be cheating on you. You don't have a boyfriend or husband. So yeah. Sorry, Stephen and Shanna. I'm telling these stories and these guys are wanting to meet next year. Shannon, it's very common for women to be scammed by fake husbands abroad. Yeah, her guard was all the way down. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah. When you think of it, it's an elderly woman who was just looking for love, I guess, right? And like I said, she was widowed, so her husband had passed away. Mm, yeah, it's sad. But you know what? I told her, I says, hey, you could have ended up paying double the amount of money, or this could have went on where you went there into their country. You know, everything is possible. There's always like a worser case scenario. But yeah, I think somebody like Helios, it's more unlikely to happen because Helios is growing up with the internet, so he knows everything. This woman thought she was getting married on the internet, and Helios was like, "Dude, I can hack Fortnite. That's not going to happen to me." This is why it's vital to video chat and exchange numbers and get to know the person beforehand. Yeah, a lot of people not getting to know each other properly. They're just diving into romance. The concept of romance makes them feel good, and that's where they want to kind of bathe in, bathe their emotions in. Shanna says, I would never get married online. Oh, hell no. I'd never get married in real life. That's a scam, but I won't be speaking anything negative about romance because we're celebrating Shanna's romance with her Londoner boyfriend. So I'm not going to be, what's the word? I'm not going to come across nefarious. I'm going to celebrate those two guys. I must confess, I started to have feelings to one girl here on YouTube. I started as moderator for her channel, and we'd be texting each other on IG every day, and then I realized that I'm from Slovakia, she's from US. But distance isn't really an issue these days. We just want to chat, and love is next person, and it's sad that we pray on that. Yeah. Kareem, will you show us around your house sometime? Oh yeah, yeah. I did a live where I showed everyone my record collection, my LPs. I did one where I've shown my figurine collection, anime figures and stuff like that. My manga and book collections. Tommy, if you like her, just see where it goes. What do you have to lose? His moderator status. I'm only kidding. Also, she is 9 years younger than me. So you are 30, I think you said 36. She would be 27. Oh, these are both adults. When I was 18, 19, I dated a 30-year-old woman. Yeah, but don't get too attracted, Tommy. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Mimi is giving us the words of wisdom for balance. I mean, as long as everyone's like, I don't know, over their mid-20s, then should be okay. Yeah, getting your emotions in check, right? So I don't want to use the wrong terminology here, but so you don't zimp out, and also on the other end of the spectrum, you don't want to become an ultra gigachad sigma. You want to be in the middle, showing respect and showing interest, but also making sure that that person shows interest in you. You want a nice balance. That's the best advice I can give the words that I've just used. If you do get attached and it doesn't work out, your heart will heal, but at least you can say you lived and loved. When you were 18, she was 9. Yeah, but when she was 9, you were like, when she when she was 18, you were like, what, 27? So there you come more into reality. I mean, think about it this way. Even if you're like 2 years different, let's say you're 35 and she's 33. When you were two, she didn't exist. So you can always give yourself a reason not to. And I applaud that that's at the back of your mind because that's always good to like, ward off any younger girls that might be interested in you. She's a grown woman. I have a friend, she was a doctor by the time she was 29, and I dated a girl almost 10 years ago. She had became a lawyer when she was 27 or 28. So, mid to late 20s. You're already an adult. That was Georgina's age, which was 7 or 9, when Ronaldo was 17 or 18. Helios, nice. Look at what a happy couple they are. They're such a power couple. Georgina literally has changed, well, helped change the way Saudi Arabia is perceived. That woman is a power woman. That doesn't sound bad if you put it like that. There you go. Tommy, if there's anything these chats offer, it's perspective. There you go. You're Cristiano Ronaldo and she is Georgina. You are our celebrity couple. Sorry, Shanna. We've got a new power couple. We've got the Bradgelina team here. Mimi says it's about the chemistry between the two. Yeah. Helios, man. Dropping some wisdom. Yeah, Helios gets an extra star today. Yeah, you can share it with all of us, of course. Jesus, even Ink Droplet was like, that is an issue. We need help this guy. And that guy's never saying anything nice. He's always like, yeah, I'm the guy who talks the truth and gets everyone upset. And even he was like reserved because he wanted to help you. And besides, one thing I've noticed about people that worry about that is is that it usually is an insecurity with themselves where they label themselves. So maybe, just maybe, you're too connected to your age and what you think it means when it doesn't really mean anything, especially in these days when you can hardly tell how old people are or how well they keep themselves. It's theories that people will end up like living until their 150th year, and that person is already born. So imagine you're living 150 years. I mean, at least, come on, at least 80 of those years, you have to be in great physical condition. So things like that is going to be more common, I think, in the future. So don't worry about it. But yeah, Helios, You have spoken true wisdom, my friend. You get the wisdom hat for today. So, guys, I think after all those droplets of wisdom, I think it's time for me to turn in. It's super early here, super late, I don't know. And yeah, I should be getting to bed. But I saw that was nice. That was nice. We had a nice chat, guys. We had some ideas exchanged. We helped celebrate some romance, and we helped possibly ignite a new love story with Tommy Slovakia. Coolest name in chat history. Um, I hope you all have a good night, Shanna says. Let me give a shout to Shanna, Helios, Tommy, Mimi, Stephen, and who else was there? Oh, Droplets was there. Thank you to Droplets as well because him being here pushed everyone else together. It gave everyone a common enemy to band together to beat. It's like the Soviet Union, Britain, and America came together and said, all right, we're going to fight the Germans. I'm going to wish everyone good night and hopefully see you all very soon. And yeah, take care, guys. Enjoy each other's company and try to live life with love, like I love my cats. Good night, guys. Get some good sleep, good rest, and I'll see you all in the next one. Till then. So the chat's finally done. Oh, God, I hate speaking to people about the private. Oh, God, no, the chat was still on. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I better put this all quickly before I'm exposed.